and thank you for joining us for the 11.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure this is the second 11th
Yeah,
episode.
because I think the one with
Yeah.
Tori was the 10th.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
this is the 11th.
welcome to Circles of Trust podcast, episode number 11. As always, I am Connor McEntee, and I am joined here by my good friend and co-host.
And I'm DV. Hello, everybody.
Yes, hello, DV. It is good to have you.
Yes, good to be here. Good to be here.
And speaking of things that are good and then to be and also here, the Oscars.
Yes.
Oscars 95?
Yeah, I think that was the 95th annual.
Yeah, 95th Academy Awards.
Yep.
Just wrapped up this past week. There were a lot of awards and accolades given out for things that I was very interested in leading up to that.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of buzz about, could this be, a landmark year?
Yep.
And it turns out it was.
Yeah. I was going into it. A lot of the movies that were nominated for Best Picture, I had seen a few of them. Usually that's like rare.
Right.
That is usually rare. It's usually maybe one that I've seen, sometimes none. So I was excited that I was able to root for something.
This might be the first year I've ever watched a picture on the Best Picture nomination.
Really?
Because I don't watch movies all that much.
Yep.
So like if it's not like a Marvel movie or some like schlocky thing that I'm super into, it's never going to come up for awards like that.
Yeah, that is true.
This is the first year that, one, I saw a movie that ended up on that list, and two, was rooting like hell for it to win. We're just going to generally talk about the Oscars and the movies that got talked about and shown and things that got awarded and things that notably didn't. Because I'm not just talking about the Oscars in general sense. I don't give a shit usually.
Yeah.
It's not something that I'm like, did you hear about what happened at the Oscars? Outside of the obviously like big meme things that occur every year. There's always some sort of big cultural like, oh, the fucking Chris Rock slap. Like there's always some big dumb thing.
Man.
How far we've come from John Wayne attempting to get on stage to fight a Native American woman.
Yes.
Truly, we've surpassed ourselves as a culture.
Yes, we have.
But yeah, I just want to talk about it because I think it's interesting. I'm usually pretty indifferent, which is kind of selfish of me because there's a lot of like really interesting movies and really like solid like awards that come up and really good talent that gets showcased, and I usually just don't care about it because I'm like, oh, it's the thing.
Yeah,
where the people are.
Yep. I watch the Oscars every year. Did you
hear that the host roasted some people? Did you hear how he slayed the audience? He may not be invited back. Host this year.
I mean, compared to what Ricky Gervais did,
Ricky Gervais was
his was Jimmy Kimmel's was tame.
Oh,
like super tame.
But like that's why he was perfect for this year because he's so milquetoast that there's no way he could have done something.
Yep. He did have a couple little quick jabs in there, but it wasn't like Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais roasted everyone all night long.
He went for the throat.
It was
100%
glorious.
Yeah, it was pretty sick.
I watch the Oscars just about every year. There's a few years that I missed. I may have been out of town or something, but generally I watch them every year. And usually back in the day, we used to all get together and watch. My friends that watch movies, we watch them. So this year I watched it, with Will and Lindsay. So I watched it there. But last year, I feel like last year's Oscars was not interesting at all to me. It was super boring.
That's what I was going to say is outside of obviously the one thing that everyone remembers,
it was boring as hell. I
can't think of a single movie that was up.
I can't either.
My mind goes blank. I'm like, the only cool thing that happened that night was that, well, I mean, not cool, but like thing of note.
Yeah.
Was violent assault.
That Oscars was horrible.
The fact that they still gave him his Oscar after that is insane to me.
Dog.
Like, I just, no, that you just committed a crime on tape. Here you go, sir.
It was rough. So I'm sitting there because at that time, I think I was watching, it was something else that I was watching. So I had that on the main, I had the Oscars on the tablet, and I had whatever else I was watching on the main, on my big TV. Right. So I'm looking back and forth, and I was like, oh, okay, Chris Rock is up there. Let me turn this up, and, you know, let me hear this more than that. So I turned that down, turn this up. And then when he said the G.I. Jane joke, and I was like, oh, okay, you know, that's old.
That's a pretty tame Oscars joke.
Tame ass Oscars joke. But when everything happened, I was like, was this staged? Like, I'm so used to pro wrestling where like they're plants in the you know,
it's hard to tell, like, was that?
I was like, you know, my pro wrestling brain was like, is this real?
It's a building filled with professional actors.
That's what they
get paid to put on an act.
So I was like, okay, is this real or not? But the way the reaction was, and the way the camera, the studio didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And he was like, and then they didn't beep the first one. And then he said it again, and then they beeped it. And I was like, oh, this might be real, dog. This might be real. So I'm texting people like, yo, y'all see the slap? And nobody else was watching it. So I'm the only sorry son bitch sitting there watching this. This year, though, a lot of people watched it.
Yeah.
So I was able to talk about it with people at work. Because it had movies that people saw. Yeah. Best Picture. Yeah. Like, that's the big thing.
That's 90% of it. There were movies that people had actually, like, normal, not cinephile people had been like, yeah, I'm going to go see this.
And, you know, I never understood. So the Oscars is about excellence in cinema, right?
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a popularity contest, because if so, half these movies wouldn't even be nominated. There's some movies that stayed in the theater for like 5 seconds and they were gone. Like, nobody saw them.
I feel like the nominations are kind of a popularity contest.
To the Academy.
Yes.
Not necessarily to...
Correct.
People.
I feel like I'm torn. I'm really torn. Finish your thing. I'm kind of torn on it.
So the reason I say that is because when you look at the movies that are super popular, like the ones that people like literally wait in line for like days to go see, they never get nominated.
It's true.
They never get nominated. And those are the ones...
Blade 2?
Yeah. I mean, just in general, when we had the Marvel Cinematic Universe, when we had Infinity War and Endgame, those were the biggest movies, period, at that time. You could not go without people talking about these Marvel movies. They made over $1 billion, over $2 billion each.
Yeah.
And they were cinematic masterpieces. When you break it down, they were shot well. The special effects were awesome.
Good story.
They had pacing. The cast was excellent. The acting was really good. Everything about it was what you would expect to be nominated in some capacity.
If it's a reward for excellence.
Yes.
Why would the excellent thing not get rewarded?
Yes. So I never understood that. I never understood why. At least have a category, like a separate category for maybe action films or something. Because you just don't have any of that stuff. They may get nominated for like best special effects. And then usually that doesn't win. And it's usually one of the movies that has very subtle special effects that will win. Or best makeup is usually ones that have subtle makeup. Maybe it's a person that they aged up or something that would win it. They never win stuff like that. So it's just amazing to me that how popular some of these movies are, they never get nominated until now. We have Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick got nominated for Best Picture and some other categories. I was so shocked because they never put popular movies like that in that category.
I also can't think of a time where a sequel was up for an Oscar. It was outside of the Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, yeah, they did.
But like sequels don't typically get anywhere near the awards. It's usually like a remake of a thing or like a biopic. Like those are the types of things that like really make an impact
every time. So, people make them specifically to be thrown into the Oscars.
That's when you get things like music.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And so I know this is a touchy subject for a lot of people. There was a there's been a couple of movies made about 9/11, but there was one specifically that when I saw it, I was like, this is something that someone is trying to win an Oscar for. Something it's got like Tom Hanks and Julia Roberts, I think. I've never seen the movie. I've only seen the trailer.
Okay.
It's like, and the title of the movie was like Loud and Fast and Dangerously Close or something like that. Is any of that ringing a bell for you?
Not for me.
Now you're gonna make me Google 9/11 movies. Thanks.
I'm sorry. But yeah, that didn't sound very, very familiar to me. But while you look that up, you know, this particular year was special to me. Like, I paid attention more in this one than I probably have any other Oscars, because like movies that I enjoyed were nominated for stuff for once. So it was special to me. And just to see two movies that my two top movies to be there. Up there, it made me feel like I know what I'm talking about.
And not just up there, but for them to have a chance.
Yeah.
Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close.
Okay. I don't think I've ever...
An American drama film. Tom Hanks and Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
God damn. Max von Sydow, Viola Davis, John Goodman. Hey, bud. What's going on over here? Yeah. I don't know why, but when I saw the trailer for that, I was like, someone wants an Oscar.
When did that come out?
This came out in 2011.
Oh, okay. So for the anniversary.
It came out on the anniversary.
Yeah, for the anniversary.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So anyways, there's usually a very specific kind of movie that gets forwarded for Oscars. And like you said, having two movies that are wildly unconventional for the Oscars was a relief culturally in a lot of ways.
It was.
Come here, boy. Come here. That's a good boy.
Yeah, it definitely was. So,
Mufasa, our official third host, is here to say hello. Hello. He hates that, but I love him, and he loves me.
So yeah, this was special. I did enjoy this. This Oscars was really good. Like, we had fun watching it, and it's rare. Usually we'll be talking about other stuff, and but this time we actually were paying attention. It was like, oh, we know this movie. We saw this movie.
So were there any other movies aside from those two that you were familiar with that were in the running for any of the categories?
The best animated film. So
which one was that?
So that had Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Yes.
That had Puss in Boots. That had The Sea Beast.
Puss in Boots did not win.
Well, okay. I will speak on that. So I watched Pinocchio, Puss in Boots, and Sea Beast the day before the Oscars.
That one I'm not familiar with.
It's on Netflix. It's just a CG animated movie. It's called The Sea Beast. It was pretty good, but I don't know if it couldn't beat any one of those. Oh, and Seeing Red was nominated. The Disney one.
Was that last year?
Yeah, it was. Hey, buddy.
Also, the movie was not good.
I didn't.
From the bits that I saw.
I didn't watch it.
This movie looks lame as hell.
I didn't watch it. So, but I did see Sea Beast, Puss in Boots, and Pinocchio. And I was torn between Pinocchio and Puss in Boots, because Puss in Boots was absolutely phenomenal.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. God.
But goddamn, everything I've seen looks insane.
It was excellent.
And it's hilarious to me that this is based in the same cinematic universe as Shrek, canonically.
Yeah.
This is Shrek's universe.
It is Shrek's universe.
And this is Antonio Banderas as Puss in Boots. It's so good.
It was so good. It was great. It was great. I had a lot of fun watching it. But I understand why Pinocchio won.
A little bit more grounded.
But the sheer amount of effort it took to make that film was insane. So if you watch it on Netflix, because it's a Netflix movie, at the very end, they give you the option to watch like a 30-minute making of. So I was like, sure, why not? I enjoyed it. And
just mind-numbing.
So it took them 1,000 days to film it. That's just filming. That's not creating the props and all that stuff. It took them 1,000 days to film it because it's it's stop go animation.
Right.
And the way they
stop motion animation is so fucking cool.
So amazing.
But like, god damn, I pity the fool that like made that their passion, because it's literally like the parable of the tortoise and the hare. Like, like God,
it's incredible.
So slow.
So there's a sequence. Well, they were showing you different models that they used, and they have like huge models that are absolutely enormous that they animate, so you don't have to do small details and the camera doesn't have to get zoomed in. Like you can actually show detail on a big scale. Model, for sure. Dude, stuff like that. I understand why it won, but as a movie, between the two, Puss in Boots, I was in that bitch like, yeah, like Puss in Boots was amazing. But I understand why Pinocchio won. I did enjoy that movie too, and I would like to have that in 4K Blu-ray. If they ever make that in the 4K Blu-ray, I'm
sure they will,
because it's beautiful. It's a well-crafted movie, and a lot of care went into it. So I appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's the only other category. I mean, there was a few scattered ones that I had seen in there that were nominated for stuff, but for the most part, those were the main two categories that I'm always interested in: Best Picture and Best Animated Film.
I was actually just testing if you were a real Marvel fan, because if you were, you would comment on the fact that Black Panther Wakanda Forever was up for a nomination as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's if you were a true Marvel fan, like a comic book fan. If you were an actual comic book fan, instead of like a poser, you would know that. It's really what I was trying to
say. I didn't pay. We were all just rolling our eyes when they got nominated. We were like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, for costume design, costumes are pretty cool.
I mean, yeah. Okay. But whatever.
Yeah. You know. See, if you were a real Marvel fan, you would be really excited about that.
Yeah, I guess
you'd be whooping.
Yeah, I guess I'm a fake.
You're gonna get canceled on Facebook again, is what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna take the rest of your cards. Every card that's left in your identity wallet is going to be stripped.
I got destroyed on Facebook.
As well you should. How dare you not like the product?
I got destroyed on Facebook.
You must consume.
People hated me. Like people I thought were friends. Yeah, people I thought were like friends that knew me. They were just like, "What? You don't like Black Panther?"
I'm trying to think if there's an opinion you would hold that I would be like, yeah, I'm never going to talk to you ever again. It'd have to be pretty wild.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be like, I didn't like... Like, if you were like, I didn't like Everything Everywhere All at Once, I'd be like, gross. And then I would move on. Right? My wife doesn't like Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I'm not divorcing her publicly. But...
Man, yeah, I got killed for Black Panther, man. Like whoever I mentioned to, they were like, "Yo, what? Like, where you rank your?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's probably like middle of the pack." Who's like, "What the?" Everybody pulling out guns and stuff. I'm like, wait.
Just a full Mexican standoff in the comments. What do you mean? It's
like, damn, it's a comic book movie. It's like middle of the road.
Right, but if you were a real comic book fan, you'd be excited about that.
Yes.
You would be really excited. Because the product came out.
And
you
gotta
consume the product.
And then the sequel came out, so that should automatically go to the #1 Marvel movie of all time.
I really like the second one way more than I like the first one. You need the first one for the context of the second one.
Yes.
But I really like the second one way more.
And I'll say why I don't. I enjoy the first one better because it was the whole picture for me was it was the experience, it was the soundtrack, it was certain moments in the movie that
the soundtrack was really good,
that just made the first Black Panther something special. Now, I'm not saying it was top of the list, but the hype around it just got you excited for it. That's and right. This was the first time, like after seeing T'Challa in Civil War, like your brain is like, if he's anything like this in the movie, he ended up not being.
No,
but you know,
he doesn't freeze. That's his whole arc.
Okay.
Had to push that aneurysm back down the bloodstream.
But the first one just had everything surrounding it, like the soundtrack, the hype train, everything about that movie was great. And it was in the middle of all these other good Marvel movies too.
Yeah.
Like you were excited for anything that Marvel put out at that time. Now it's like, oh God, here's another
one.
Here's another property about to be destroyed. Like, here we go.
I mean, it's destroyed or uplifted.
Or made for a modern audience.
Yes. Because modern audiences are full of women and dumb, apparently. And I'm not drawing a correlation between those two things. I'm saying Marvel is saying they're making movies for a specific audience, and I'm telling you this is what the demographics are pointing out to me.
Now, one thing that I've noticed that I find absolutely hilarious is that when they make things for a modern audience, they make no money. Just think about that for a second.
True.
You make no money. When you made stuff for the fucking nerds, bruh, we will sleep outside for 6 weeks to catch a glimpse of some shit that we like.
Dog, there's a reason that Star Citizen has made like $1 billion.
I'm telling you, man.
Just one dude who made a mid-game in 2002 was like, you guys want more of that shit for the next 16 years? And then...
Dude, I'm telling you.
This is a true story, right? So you know about Star Citizen. You know generally what that is.
Yep.
Okay. You understand that like they have like tiers for like thousands of... Okay, cool. I went to go get a sleep study done, right? By a doctor, by an MD. Okay. The guy looked not too dissimilar from me. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, this guy's probably a nerd. And so he's like rigging me up and like checking everything. And he's like, man, I'm really excited. Like, a new bundle of ships just got dropped today. He's like, I'm already 23K in. So what's a couple more ships? And I was like, I'm sorry.
What?
You're what? You've paid how much for a game that does not exist?
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, I was like, I know who the fuck is getting these tiers now is MDs who have a shitload of money.
Dog.
But like that was like, I was shook. And what's funny is that was 6 years ago. I'm sure that dude is way deeper in that now.
Yeah.
Because like sunken cost fallacy kicks in at a certain point. If I'm $20,000 into something, I'm not turning the ship around.
It's too late.
Yeah,
it's too late.
We're fully committing to the end result.
It's too late, dude. That's the thing. The nerds spend money on stuff that they love.
Spend money, and they come out and they support the shit.
They support hella shit.
If they believe in the product.
Yes. When we used to go see those Marvel movies and we would go see them on opening weekend,
you'd see people
fucking packed.
Yep.
I'm talking about people standing in line with their t-shirts on, some in full costume.
I was gonna say probably a lot of costumes.
We're all talking, we're all having fun. We're talking about the previous movie that happened. We're talking about the video game that's tied to it or whatever. We like people have comic books with them. They're like showing people comic books.
Oh yes.
It was an event. It's not anymore because they are catering to an audience, the modern audience, who doesn't give a shit. They care about certain things being in it so they can talk about it on Twitter, and then they
care about they did the thing. They did the thing that I know. They did the thing that I know.
Yep. And then that's it. Like the thing that so I remember when you and Tori were doing Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
And you guys let me know some things about it. So I'm understanding what's going on. And I remember I was in California and I saw that Magic the Gathering like tournament that they had, and people walking in with like gold briefcases or fancy ass shit with like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of cards in there. Yeah. And they were treated like celebrities. They had like nerdy ass dudes walking in with like 2 fine chicks behind them or on their arms. They're sitting down treating them like kings and shit. I've never seen anything like that. The amount of money in that room with a bunch of nerds is insane.
Absolutely absurd. Like if you're just taking just liquid, if you liquidated everything in that room, you'd be
it's fucking crazy.
Probably a couple million.
Yeah.
I had to guess. Cause all the alpha and beta and revised stuff can be hundreds, if not thousands, depending on the condition.
It's crazy
per card, and then you run a deck that has 4 of each card.
Yeah.
So,
and then you think about that, and if they made a Magic the Gathering movie, they would cater it to a modern audience,
yes,
and nobody would go.
If I'm not mistaken, I think there's a show in the works. I think there's a Magic the Gathering show in the works, and I think they're focusing on Chandra. Which, if you remember the conversation I had about representation, Chandra's the one they queer-baited everyone with. Where they were like, oh, she's a big lesbian. Psych, she loves big buff dudes that never loved girls. So, yeah. Yeah, I think that's the most recent, like, I don't know if it's still ongoing, but that was the last thing I heard, like, a year or so ago.
Yeah, I mean...
They're developing that, and it's like, who gives a shit? Who?
The people that you are making this movie for are not going to go watch it.
No.
They're not going to go watch it. And then the people who were like, I will go see this shit 30 times in a row if it's good.
Yes.
Like, I will take my family, my family's family. I will take other families to see this movie. Because the dude who watched No Way Home like 30 times or something in a row, regular people don't do that shit.
They don't.
The nerds do that shit, bro. The nerds do that. And Spider-Man and Batman are big because of nerds.
It's true.
That's why they're relevant at like 50 years from their inception.
But did you buy the product? Did you consume the product? Why are you not excited for the next product, consumer?
See, back in the first 3 phases, it was an experience. Even the shitty Marvel movies, like the Thor Dark World and all that, they were still experiences, though.
I'll watch Thor Dark World on repeat till the day I die, rather than watching Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness even once. Even one more. If it was Thor Dark World is constantly playing behind my eyes, it's the only thing in my vision until I'm dead, I take that over watching Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness one more time.
Yeah. Like, I have to agree with that. But we were... Sorry to get off on that tangent. We were talking about the Oscars.
It was a tangent worth having. So talking about the Oscars, I figure we'll go through and talk about. I honestly, I think rather than burying the lead, I'm just going to talk about the shit that I was excited for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there are a lot of these categories, I'm like, right. But the big thing, the big win that I was looking for, big wins, and there weren't many of them. There you go. Okay. Everything Everywhere All at Once. You've heard us talking about it a lot. I just feel really vindicated saying the movie was as good as it was, because now it's gotten the highest awards that movies like that can get.
Yeah.
But Everything Everywhere All at Once won Best Picture, which is insane. Is a $15 million movie. Its competitors, All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Way of Water, billions. The Banshees of Inisherin. Elvis. Did you see Elvis?
I did.
Was it good?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
There were some elements of it that were a little odd because of the time period that it took place in. Like, they added real hip-hop like current day hip-hop music in it, and it was really weird. It was jarring as hell. We were sitting in the theater, we're like, why the fuck are they playing Saweetie and all these bitches and what the hell is going on? It was brief. It was brief, but it was still jarring as hell.
Is it like in A Knight's Tale when they start playing David Bowie music?
No, because that was dope as fuck.
That shit was so fucking cool.
That was dope as fuck.
Okay, so my dad, God bless him, gets really fucking narrow-minded about certain things in movies. Yeah. He told me about Knight's Tale because I didn't see it when it first came out.
I love that movie.
I would have been like 11 or whatever. It was like 2001.
I love that movie.
But it came out and he was like, "This was such a stupid movie. There were so many historical inaccuracies." And they started playing like David Bowie music during the dance. It was just so stupid. It took me right out of it. I was like, this sounds like a terrible movie. And I watched it and I was like, This movie fucking rocks.
Yeah, dude.
I fucking love Knight's Tale.
Yeah, Knight's Tale is the shit.
That movie fucking rules.
The thing about it is they didn't play it. It's not like they had a big boombox with they were using their instruments to play it.
And it was so
that shit was dope.
So good.
No, the Elvis thing was not like that, though.
Okay, so it was not like
so that. It wasn't like they were playing the song. It was like background, like soundtrack music.
Oh,
like they would show the camera panning and you would hear the hip hop. It was weird, but all in all, I love the movie.
Given that it's a movie about Elvis and given the time period, that seems like just a really
it was out of place. Choice. It was out of place, but I did enjoy that movie though.
The Fabelmans.
Yeah, never seen that one.
Top Gun Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
Lame. Triangle of Sadness.
Never saw that either.
And Women Talking. Sounds like a shitty movie. You knew it was coming. You knew it.
You knew it.
No, I didn't see it, but I love Frances McDormand.
Mm-hmm.
Love her. Was it 3 Billboards Outside of?
Yeah.
God, that movie fucking rules. Just such a good movie. Anyways, that movie sounds really fucking boring, and I'm glad it didn't win. Women need more L's. I'm kind of. All of this is due for not making it in. I guess these days irony does not translate very well.
No, it does not.
Okay, he's over there.
It does not, dude. God. It does not. You'll be canceled in no time.
Another fat white man saying women are bad. Who knew? But amongst all of those, this little $15 million wonderkind just fucking pops up, and it won Best Picture.
Yep.
And on top of that, Best Director, which is also incredibly well deserved because every actor, all the actors that did interviews for like the junket after Everything Everywhere All at Once came out, all of them went on record as saying, we had no idea what the fuck was going on. Like, they were like, shoot this insane scene and then this insane scene, and they managed to stitch it together to make it like this wonderful, compelling narrative.
Man.
And doing that with that small of a budget.
Yeah.
Just, I hope it sends the right message to Hollywood that, like, we don't give a shit how many zeros you put behind your price tag. We care if the movie is watchable.
Yes.
We care if it like accomplished something.
Yep. It just has to be entertaining and watchable. I agree.
Apparently, The Fabelmans was directed by Steven Spielberg.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like a story about him.
Oh shit! I remember hearing about that. Yeah, it's like a mock biopic kind of thing.
I want to see it because I enjoy Steven Spielberg.
I was gonna say,
so yeah. I will definitely have to watch it.
Sure. Lame. So Best Actor, our boy, friend of the show, Brendan Fraser.
Will and Lindsay were really hype about that because they went to see The Whale and they were like, bro, it was absolutely phenomenal.
It's not a movie I could watch. I would not like watching it.
I'm gonna have to watch it. I have to at least see it.
I'm a little too close to the source material for it to be like a fun, uplifting story.
My God.
No, like for real, like a story about a big fat dude whose like life is falling apart. Yeah, I don't like that. That doesn't feel good for me. It's not. I'm just gonna be sad the whole time.
Maybe that's why I don't like Black Panther. It's a little bit too close to home. I mean, yeah. I drank flowers and I become powerful.
You drank the flowers.
You know,
you tattooed yourself with a bunch of dots.
Yeah,
on the people you killed.
It's it
makes sense.
Too close to home. I understand.
Brendan's competition were Austin Butler up for Elvis.
Yeah, that dude. Like, if I was him, I would be a little bit. I would be like, hold the fuck up. I damn near turned into this sumbitch. Like, he had to like retrain himself not to talk like Elvis.
I remember seeing that.
It's like he's probably like, you son of a bitch. You put on a fat suit.
Yeah, you put on a fat suit. Ooh, I'm the best actor. Colin Farrell for Banshees of Inisherin. Inisherin. I feel like I'm a traitor to my race for not being able to pronounce this. This is definitely an Irish name of some kind.
Should have trouble pronouncing some of those
Banshees
things.
of Inisherin. Fuck it. That's
what it is. That's what it is right now.
Paul Mescal for After Sun. Hope it was good.
Yeah.
And then Bill Nighy for Living.
Dog, he should have won for being when he was in Pirates. Oh my god,
he's had so many fucking phenomenal like film roles. Has he ever won an Oscar?
I don't know. You might have to look that up, see if he has. But I'm not sure.
New tab.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he has, but he's dope. He's dope in everything
and
he
does. Video game voice acting.
Mm-hmm. From time to time. He does.
No.
Wow.
No Oscars. Not a damn one.
Damn. Yeah, that dude's a beast.
That's ridiculous. He should have definitely won it for Underworld.
Yeah, he was fucking badass in that. God.
Love Actually. He was the only fun part of that movie.
So he's the man.
Did you ever see Love Actually?
Mm-hmm. I have.
Remember that whole subplot about how the most attractive woman in the movie is being called fat by everyone? You remember that whole thing?
It's like the weirdest shit.
It's so bizarre.
It's the weirdest shit ever.
She was far and away the most attractive woman in that cast, and they were like, "Well, big fat fatty,
fat bitch."
Oh, you know? the prime minister's shagging a fat bitch. Now she was gonna clean her hooves. And I was like, she's just a really attractive lady. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on with that.
What a great movie. I never have to watch ever again in my fucking life. So best actress, swinging back into Everything Everywhere All at Once. We get again friend of the show, Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh.
Well deserved. She's had a really long acting career. She was in stuff back in Hong Kong, I know.
Oh, she was in so many Jackie Chan movies. Oh, that's where I was introduced to her back in the early 90s. For me, early 90s when I first saw him, like Super Cop and Super Cop 2 and like a
first thing I ever saw her in would be Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Oh man. I was already in love by that time.
What year did that come out? Was that 99 or 2000?
I feel like it
came out after The Matrix, because I remember the big thing was that the choreographer,
the wire work.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably either 2000 or somewhere in that general area. Because I can't remember if I don't think I was in high school when that came out. I think I was out of high school, so it might have been 2001.
Yeah, I was like 10. And I was like,
I need to know now.
I was like, this movie fucking rocks.
I need to know right now when that movie came out. Crouching Tiger. 2000, baby.
Hell yeah, depending on when it came out.
So
I would have been 9.
Yeah, so I was, because I remember going to see it. We had already graduated and we were like excited because we were free. But then little did we know we're going to have to start fucking working and life was going to suck for the next 8 million years. But yeah, we saw that in the theaters and it was so good. We were all hyped.
What a beautiful movie.
It perfect movie. It had drama, it had action, the acting was great. Great movie. Michelle Yeoh. Tasty.
Incredible. Up against Ana de Armas in Blonde.
Mm-hmm. Playing Marilyn Monroe.
Yes. Cate Blanchett.
Tar,
yep. Andrea Riseborough to Leslie. I feel like the Oscars would be way funnier if the people announcing it did that. They'd be like, it's really boring. And then Michelle Williams in The Fabelmans.
Okay. Tar, I do want to see. That seems pretty interesting.
I've heard really good things.
Yeah.
So people that were upset about the 2 categories that I heard people the most upset about, aside from Best Picture, were Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress. Those are the 2 that I heard people being like, this person should have won instead of this person.
And wasn't Angela Bassett, was that the one she was nominated for? Was it Best Actress?
Best Supporting Actress.
Supporting.
Correct.
Supporting.
So Best Supporting Actor, friend of the show, Ke Huy Quan. Just, again, incredible performance. I've said it again and again and again, and I'll keep saying it. That whole movie hinges upon his performance. Yeah. The entirety of it. If you don't believe him at every step of the way for him being as genuine as he is trying to be, the movie falls apart.
Yeah.
If he's unlikable for a millisecond, the movie falls apart.
Yep. And you know, I was thinking about this. So you know they got the new Indiana Jones coming out, and they got Phoebe Waller-Bridge in that role. You know, she's playing whatever. Mm-hmm. Do you know how Lucasfilm just dropped the ball when they could have just brought Short Round back and have an indie and Short Round reunion? What the fuck?
Ever since he won Best Supporting Actor, Reddit posts every single day in our movies have been like, fucking Lucasfilm's dropping the goddamn ball. Dog. Brought Short Round back. And they were like, look at how happy they were on stage to see each other at the Oscars. Like, they had a great moment. Like, wouldn't he be the one to pass the torch to? See, he was actually part of the franchise.
The fucking nerds would have goddamn put on their hats and their whips, and they would have stood outside just handing out money to Lucasfilm.
If the next Indiana Jones movie was Indiana Jones 5, Tall Round,
because he's not short anymore.
Because he's not short anymore. Yeah, so short, tall, thin, I guess. I would be over the moon, especially after the performance that we just got. Like, it was incredible.
Because the thing is, we all know Harrison Ford is old as balls, so having Short Round like do a lot of the action, like Indy, I got you. Like, you have me, I got you in this one. Just a buddy comedy action. Nostalgic trip.
Turn it into more like a Green Hornet situation.
Yeah, Kato and Green. Perfect. It writes itself.
It does. It genuinely does.
But it doesn't push the message though.
Right.
So that's why they didn't do it. Phoebe Waller-Bridge has to be in there. Fleabag assholes has to be in there. It's all right.
Ke Huy Quan was up against Brendan Gleeson, who I love. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal actor, great in everything. Brian Tyree Henry, Judd Hirsch, and Barry Keoghan. I don't know who the other three are. Off the top of my head,
I've seen like maybe one movie that some of them have been in. I don't know. I don't pay attention to them as much.
So now we get to the really spicy category: Best Supporting Actress. So our winner was Jamie Lee Curtis. And there's been a lot of controversy about her winning because her competitors were Angela Bassett for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Hong Chow from The Whale, Carrie Condon from Banshees of Inisherin, and Stephanie Hsu, I believe is how that is pronounced. Please don't be mad at me. I'm pretty sure. HSU?
I think so.
So, what have you heard about this award?
So, we all were reacting when they showed Angela Bassett when Jamie Lee Curtis won.
The stankest.
And it was I mean, being raised by black women, you know, having tons of black women in my family, I've seen that look quite a few times for various situations. So she was dead ass serious.
Oh yeah.
She was dead ass serious.
She was stone cold.
She was mad as hell about the fact that she didn't win it. And Angela Bassett is a phenomenal actress.
Really good.
But the thing is Black Panther. Like, you've done so many great things in other movies, like Waiting to Exhale and all these other bomb ass shits that you were in. You shouldn't be upset about not winning because it's Black Panther.
There's no good way to say this. The movie that I most recognize her from, I'm gonna say what I think the name of it is.
Oh God!
No. It's
okay.
You're gonna understand why I'm struggling to explain this, because the most definitive thing about this movie is its most controversial aspect: the score.
The score.
So Robert De Niro and Edward Norton.
Oh yes,
okay.
yes.
So you understand what I was gonna describe the movie as: the movie where Edward Norton.
Yeah.
No, but Angela Bassett was in that as Robert De Niro's love interest, very briefly, but she awesome screen presence and charisma.
Angela Bassett, and she still looks good. She's like great. She's she's getting up there. But that stuff like that bothers me, just because it makes black folk look bad in certain aspects. Like when you see that reaction, no other person reacted that way. It had to be the black woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That always, stuff like that always happens. They always focus in on the angry black woman or the angry black man.
True.
So in the world of representation, since everything has to be representation, this and that looked terrible. And people dove on it immediately. Immediately people dove on. People were like screenshotting it and Twitter from their TVs and shit. It blew up. But Jamie Lee Curtis did a great job in that damn movie. So
yeah. And I was gonna say
Stephanie Shu also did a great one. It was okay for either one of those two, but I still think Stephanie her role was a little bit better.
What I heard, and this is baseless Reddit like formulaic, but people were saying that it was probably an agreement between Jamie Lee Curtis and Stephanie to have Stephanie not put a super strong bid for Best Supporting Actress because she's so young and because she's so talented, that she's probably going to get her moment in the sun soon. But Jamie Lee Curtis, she's never gotten an Oscar. She's been in the film industry for like 50 years. Like a lot of people were theorizing that because Stephanie Shu did not like make a lot of outward appearances, like hyping the movie up. She did a couple of things.
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis was like
all over the place.
This movie fucking rocks, and everyone else who was involved was a goddamn superstar and da-da-da. And people were theorizing that was like an intentional thing. Which from a strategic standpoint makes sense to me. But then it's just kind of like it feels a little bit cheaper somehow, because then you're like, well, should Stephanie Shu have won?
Yeah, and also like, what does that say about the Oscars? Like, if that is true, what does that say about winners and losers in the Oscars? Like the people who vote on this shit, the committees. So all you have to do is lobby for it enough to win instead of winning on performance.
I didn't see Angela Bassett doing the press junkets about Wakanda Forever, being like everyone in this movie was a goddamn superstar. I didn't see her doing that. Maybe that's why she didn't win. Maybe she should think about that as she goes home to her not Oscar.
But I guess she figures, Black Panther, I have to win for Black Panther. Like it's a shoe in.
I can't do it. Just some truly foul.
I can see. I saw the gear grind to a halt. And I saw it.
Yeah, it was about to be irreversible.
I saw it.
Hell yeah. So that was the category that I heard the most.
Yeah, man. That people all over Angela Bassett on that one. Good God Almighty. The camera like zoomed in on her shit too. Yeah. They were like, Whoop.
And honestly, a lot for Michelle Yeoh too. People were saying that Cate Blanchett should have gotten it for Tar, and the other one I saw was that.
While I like Cate Blanchett, she didn't kick as much ass as my girl Michelle Yeoh did in that joint. No.
And again, like every performance in that movie is perfect. I cannot imagine a universe in which any of those performances are 1 degree to the right or to the left, and this movie still makes it work. But everyone hit their notes perfectly 100% of the time.
Everybody. That movie, just so well done.
It's a masterpiece. It's the best movie I've ever seen. I got no problem going on record on that. Sorry, there was one movie that's above it, and that would be The King's Dog. You have to watch that fucking movie.
I knew that was,
it's like an hour of your time. Put it up on a second monitor while you're doing something else. It's great. You only have to check in once every 3 minutes or so. It's fun.
I knew that was coming.
Other big categories. I know the one that the other one that you were really excited about was best sound design.
Yeah, with Top Gun Maverick.
Best sound, not sound design.
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick won an Oscar.
Yep, it did. And I believe it deserved that because I saw it in the Dolby Cinema. And we saw it in the did we do IMAX? I think we did IMAX. I
was going to say, I feel like you probably did IMAX.
I think we did IMAX for that because a ton of scenes were filmed for IMAX. So we did watch in the IMAX, and then at home, I watched it on 4K Blu-ray, and the Atmos sound is phenomenal. So I get it. I get it. Like the jet noises, like all that stuff takes a lot of work. But I think All Quiet on the Western Front, was that up for sound design?
It was. It beat out All Quiet on the Western Front.
And Lindsay was saying that movie is phenomenal. And she's a war movie veteran, if you will. So she loves war movies. Huh. So she said that's like in her top lists.
Yeah, so the 4 that were up were as contenders to Top Gun were All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, Batman, and Elvis.
Yeah. Oh!
So it beat out some.
That was
competition.
Yeah, that was some serious competition, especially Avatar. Avatar sounded phenomenal, and the Batman also, like the chase scenes and stuff. God damn,
the Batman didn't win anything.
Yeah, it didn't,
because the Batman was really fucking good.
It was good. It was good.
It was a very different kind of movie.
It didn't make as much money as they wanted it to, but I think it's because people are tired of shitty ass Warner Brothers stuff. So the DCEU has spoiled it for every other DC movie.
Correct.
So people are like, they're like, oh, is this connected to the DCEU? And then they're like, I'm not even gonna take a chance. I F it. But then it comes out on video, and then they watch it, and they're like, yo, why didn't I see this in the? You gotta give it a chance.
I think I saw like the latter half of that movie.
That movie's good.
When Tori and I were at some hotel room and it was on TV, and I was like, I never actually watched this. I was like, this is pretty fucking good.
It's good, man.
Like, I actually care about what's going on here.
It's good.
There's a cool twist on the Thomas Wayne story and like the murder.
It's really good. I definitely enjoy that movie. It was a pleasant surprise.
What I love is that they explored the origin story while telling a different story.
Yes.
It wasn't just like, this is how he became the Batman. They were like, wait, he's the Batman.
Yep.
Let's talk about why he's the Batman as he's being the Batman, rather than like, he went and studied with fucking ninjas.
Yeah.
Poked ice and
I still do enjoy Batman Begins.
I love Batman Begins. I'm just saying, like, they spent a lot of time.
They didn't do it again. They didn't repeat the same shit.
They also had 3 movies to tell that story in. So it made sense there. This movie was like, he's the Batman.
He's the Batman.
Let's
and
keep it moving.
Like, I think he did a great job as Batman.
He did. I really like Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
And good. Every interview that I see with him reinforces how much I like Robert Pattinson. Him talking about Final Fantasy VII while Catwoman was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, you got these 2 fine ass bitches who want you. You got Eris or Tifa. You get to choose.
You get to choose.
And she's like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, he wouldn't get it.
Man.
Like, hell yeah. He gets it.
One thing that I noticed about that movie was Zoe Kravitz is tiny. She is tiny. Because Robert Pattinson is not a super swole
but he
dude.
Looks like a mountain in every scene compared to her.
Yes. Man. And Penguin, the makeup. That was
Colin Farrell,
yeah,
right?
The makeup was phenomenal in that joint. And he did a great job because you couldn't even tell.
You really couldn't.
No accent, no nothing. Like, he had all that shit down. Like
his facial expressions through all of that makeup too were I loved it.
The Batman was phenomenal, and it was an actual detective story.
Yes.
So he was back to being the world's greatest detective, which I enjoyed.
My favorite part of the press leading up to Batman coming out was hearing how Paul Dano prepared for his role, because he envisioned his character as being like a 4chan incel, so he just didn't have sex for a week.
God damn.
Yeah, I was like, oh, 1 week?
What?
Whoa.
Oh, shit.
That was the funniest fucking article that I saw about that. It was like, yeah, he just didn't fuck for a week, and that's how he got into the Joker or the Riddler role.
And so that had a lot of modern audience influence.
A lot, yeah.
But it wasn't like bad.
None of it felt like pandering.
Yeah,
it just felt like a modern interpretation.
Yeah, like that would be the type of dude that would do that type of thing.
Yes,
in today's
yeah. Like a Unabomber type.
Yeah,
he's got a big old manifesto, and like, this is what I believe in. These are my convictions. And, it made sense. It made sense from the story perspective.
Yeah, it made perfect sense.
All the like super corrupt city officials were great. I loved all their varying levels of scumbaggery. Catwoman was good.
I really did enjoy the Batman.
And who was Alfred? I feel like Alfred was someone.
When that
was it goddamn Gollum?
Andy Serkis.
Yeah, I was like, it's Jeremy Irons. It's like, no, that was Ben Affleck's.
Yeah, that was Ben Affleck's Alfred.
Yeah, Batman was good. It's kind of a shame it didn't win anything, because it would have been nice for it to come, because it was really good.
Yeah, it was profitable. Like, they made money off of it, but it didn't. I guess it didn't do like Dark Knight numbers, and that's what they compare it to.
Gonna do Dark Knight numbers.
Dark Knight came out at the best time. Like, the time that movie came out, superhero movies weren't shitty.
And they had one of the biggest, like, cultural pivotal moments of press, where they were like, two really big things happened that made The Dark Knight a huge success. Their lead antagonist, the actor, died, and they had a mass shooting at one of the openings. Those two things, for whatever reason, like, whatever, morbid curiosity or whatever, but The Dark Knight was in theaters for like...
It was in there forever.
It felt like a year.
It was in that bitch forever.
Because, like, I went and saw it, and then I started dating Tori, and that was the first movie we went to go see together. But there's such a long gap between those two things. I was like, first time I watched it and started dating Tori, it's insane.
Yeah, it was. That came out at the right time, and it was so good that you couldn't deny it, though. Like, you couldn't deny that it was great.
People always are like, oh, well, I'm not really a big fan of like his Joker, and like there are other versions that are like better, and it's like, sure. The movie still fucking ruled.
But what was wrong? What did they not like about his Joker?
Like, people were just like, he just, there was, I like the Jack Nicholson Joker better. And
okay,
like, they were just like
they're different Jokers.
Exactly. They were like,
you got the gangster, you got the anarchist, you have, what's his name? Jared Leto's, the gangster. What was his?
I would call him a SoundCloud rapper.
Yeah, he's definitely like a Lil Pump.
Yeah,
he's like a Lil Pump,
with the
blue face
with the tattoo placement. Yeah, that's all I can think of. Is like,
but yeah, they have names for each.
Yes, they
each
do.
Joker that was there.
I think it's like the Gentleman.
Yeah, they got different ones, but
the people who I hear criticize, that they're not like he was a bad Joker. They're just like, I like other versions better.
Yeah, okay. And with the Dark Knight Rises,
which I still haven't seen.
I enjoy that movie a lot, but there are some gaps in, like,
I've heard there's some pretty big
there's some big holes in
like
there.
You could probably drive that truck they flipped in The Dark Knight through some of these gaps.
Yeah, but the movie as a whole was very enjoyable to me, and to hear Tom Hardy's voice it was like the way they mixed it. It takes over all your speakers. So whenever he speaks, all your speakers are playing, and it
rocks.
sounds cool as hell. So that trilogy just set the tone. So if they can make the Batman trilogy like that, that would be great. Like, Batman is a marketable dude.
If the Batman was our Batman Begins or whatever,
yeah,
I really want to see their version of Dark Knight.
Yeah,
I really want to see what their equivalent to that is.
Yeah, and what villain? But see, I don't know if they're gonna do the Joker right away. Like, I have a feel. I feel like they're not gonna do the Joker right away. I feel like they're gonna have someone else
being like a Moriarty style character, where he's always referenced to, and like people connect back to him, but he's not directly in the shit.
Yeah, I think they bring another villain in first.
I would feel like it would probably be Two-Face would be the logical example, because they've just dealt with all those corrupt city officials and everything. So having a DA that comes in, like cleaning up the remnants, that would be the likely candidate. Dr. Freeze would be fun.
Well, would they give him the Batman the Animated Series backstory, or would they give him the Batman and Robin backstory?
There isn't a backstory there.
I don't know, but
Poison Ivy was fun.
Yeah, they could do a Poison Ivy. So yeah, I'm curious to see how they would spin it.
What I want is like a horror style Solomon Grundy.
Dude,
because I feel like this tone is really, really well suited to like a horror style. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yes, he's hilarious, by the way.
Yeah,
he's great. I like old Grundy. That's my dude. But yeah, I was surprised
that stuff to work with. For sure.
I was surprised that it got nominated. But for the categories that it got nominated in, I understand, because it like definitely. sound and all that stuff. That it was very well done, very, very well done. But I do hope that since it didn't make as much money as they thought it would,
it still gets some kind of support, because it looks like they're still releasing Aquaman 2 and The Flash.
Why are they releasing The Flash, though?
I don't know.
Like, Ezra Miller?
They pulled Batgirl or Batwoman or whichever one, but they're like, yeah, let Ezra Miller have his own standalone. Like, what, are you fucking high,
bro? The shit that man has done
for like 6 months, it felt like every 2 weeks there was a new more insane headline, because it started off real simple. It was like Ezra Miller got drunk and like got into a scuffle in like a 7-Eleven. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, Ezra Miller got drunk at a 7-Eleven and drove a car into 3 parked cars and ran away, and he's out on bond. Okay, cool. That's pretty crazy. We're still okay. And the next one was like, Ezra Miller got into a fight at 7-Eleven, stole a car, kidnapped a woman and put her in the car, and then drove her to his cult, which he apparently is the head of. And that was it. There was like,
bro.
And people were like, I'm sorry. He has a what?
Yeah.
And the who?
Did you see him choke slam that lady? And the neck brace? She had a neck brace on.
Mm-hmm.
And he like... choked her.
That's what happens.
It's video footage of it. Mm-hmm. It's video footage.
Tori had to throw away a whole jersey just because one guy got into a fist fight with his
Ray Rice. Ray Rice. Ray Rice. Oh yeah, man. And poor Michael Irvin, he's going through some bullshit right now too. So it's like these people are getting...
I want to reiterate, didn't mean to gloss over that. What Ray Rice did is not okay.
Oh yeah, no.
We kind of went to the next there.
It's 100% not okay, but you have to look at what Ezra Miller did.
Yes.
So Ray Rice, he beat his wife.
All right.
But Ezra Miller beat a woman, just a random woman he didn't know, in Hawaii. He has a cult. He had babies chewing on bullets. He kidnapped a 14-year-old girl and had her just chilling at his place. He wrecks hotels. Multiple
unregistered firearms.
Dude, this dude is nuts. He goes around saying he's like the king of this, and he's...
Yeah, and he said something about him being like a messiah figure, I think. Something like
him
that.
And Jared Leto probably run the same cult.
Jared Leto has like a whole island.
He does.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he does. So, I mean...
It's a shame. I really liked him in Lord of War.
Yeah.
And that was it.
He does.
That's the only role that I've ever really liked him in.
You know, he's all right.
Because he got to be himself. He got to be a tweaked out cokehead.
Yes. So I don't understand how Ezra Miller, how they're going to release The Flash.
No clue. And God, I really hope their PR team is fucking braced if they release Aquaman 2. Because Amber Heard social stocks are at an all-time low.
God.
Warner Last year was not good for her. Or was it 2021? I don't remember. It was bad.
Speaking of Warner Brothers and Ezra Miller and all them.
Yeah.
I feel really bad for Zachary Levi because of Shazam. Like, nobody's going to see Shazam.
Nobody's seeing it.
Now, here's the thing. Since they announced that, what's his name? James Gunn is going to be the new Kevin Feige for the DC side.
Yes.
He's scrapping stuff and he's making his own universe. That leaves the stuff that they already have planned to come out
in limbo.
Like why go see it, you know?
Here's the thing about James Gunn. Okay. I could see him still making use of Shazam. Yes. But there probably won't be another Shazam movie.
Yeah. I 100%
I could
agree.
see him doing like a Shazam TV show. Or having Shazam be like Hawkeye, you know, just popping up in every other movies or for you know. But yeah, like the interest is not there in Shazam.
Yeah, but Shazam, Aquaman, and Flash, it doesn't seem like they're gonna be any more of them going into his DCEU.
Respectfully, neither of those two franchises with their current actors have futures.
Well, Amber Heard and Aquaman. People love Jason Momoa as Aquaman.
I would say Jason Momoa is kind of reaching the end of his being the hot dude arc. I feel like that's just my hot take.
Spicy.
But like he's obviously a very physically fit guy, but he's also getting older. And I'm sure it's taking a lot more effort to get back in shape for movies. Because, you know, in between movies, I'm not going to say he lets himself go because fucking look at me. But like, he, you know, obviously when you're not being coached 24/7 by a physical trainer, and your diet monitored, obviously you like retain body fat. So the amount of time that it takes to get back into shape and the amount of effort it takes to like maintain, I don't think with the release schedule that DC has, I don't think that him being Aquaman, here's what I could see. I could see them having him be Aquaman, but just as like a face capture. Like showing up and like, you know, paste his head on some CG like armor suit. And he just shows up. Because like his little bit at the end of Peacemaker and stuff like that. Like I feel like those are the kinds of things that James Gunn want to employ him for, because also respectfully speaking, he's not like a super duper actor. He's not like,
oh yeah, he's typecast. Like he's hardcore typecast. It's okay. You know, everybody has their role.
Right. I just feel like his time in being this particular thing is probably getting closer to the end of it.
Gotcha.
Obviously, I don't know what his physical fitness regimen looks like.
That's
because The Rock keeps getting older, but he's also juiced out of his fucking mind.
Because he was a pro wrestler, so he likes to keep that look. Batista doesn't want to work out and shit anymore. That's why he goes for different roles. He's like, well, I want to be known as a actual actor,
right, instead
of just a big goof, just big muscle tattooed up guy. But it's hard to when you are a big tattooed up guy. Like it's
tough to break out of that.
It is. But okay, I've never heard that perspective.
Those are my hot takes for that. I don't think that either of those properties have a future in the DCEU run by James Gunn.
Yeah,
as standalone movies.
But that's the thing. Like those movies that are coming out, they're not going to make any money because a lot of people are thinking the same thing. Like, oh well, shit. Like we're never going to see another Aquaman, so why even?
The DCEU has been really good at throwing away money and pissing it into burning trash cans. So I think this is probably par for the course for them.
Yeah, they have, and like their one-offs are like the best, like the Joker and the Batman.
Yep.
Like, I guess they just need to make movies with the in front of it and lower the budget, make it a little bit more grounded.
Have the Flash and don't get like a weird cult guy to be your guy.
Yeah. 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 I agree.
The Martian Manhunter. Mm-hmm. The Wonder Woman.
Like Shazam, like, because I'm going to see Shazam tomorrow after work. And like, I'm excited because I enjoyed the first one, and this one they say they double up on everything. It's more fun. Like, people who went to see it actually enjoy it, but nobody's going to see it.
The one thing I found the most interesting is that they actually made original characters for this property.
Oh, the villains.
The villains.
Yeah, the two villains.
Like, they're not an existing DC thing. And I was like, I simultaneously like that and I hate it. I really like it because it means you can do whatever you want and people can't be like, that's not like the source material. But then the flip side of that is, I'm sure Shazam in his lore somewhere probably has two characters you could have pulled from and put up to the forefront and be like, hey, look at this cool bit of like DC history. It just feels like, for a company like DC, it feels like a weird thing to make up new characters.
I agree.
I hesitate to criticize that because that's the thing that I've been telling Marvel that I want, rather than fucking up existing characters, make some new ones.
Yeah.
But I just feel maybe it's just bias, but it feels like Marvel's had a lot more time and movies to flesh out their characters.
Yeah, they have.
So if they wanted to make some original characters, throw them in there, that would be fine. The DC movies,
like Snowflake and Safe Space.
What?
The ones that they made up in the comics, you know, they created the whole group of.
Was it Safe Space?
Yeah, Safe Space, Snowflake. What was the?
No, that's got to be a meme. No, those aren't real.
Those are real.
No, those aren't. real.
We looked them up for our.
No, because I remember there was the one. She like could transform into other objects,
and it was one that made people sad by talk. It was like she could talk to. What was it? She could. Her power. She could talk to people.
Yeah, she was like overshare.
Yeah. Like this.
Holy shit! Yeah, no,
it's real.
It's coming back to me.
It's real.
Arson Man or Arson Boy.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Lawful arson. Lawful arson.
Something like that.
Yeah, no. For real, it was lawful arson. Was like their pyrokinetic. I was like, I remember I harped on that for like.
Yeah, and it was Snowflake, Safe Space, that girl that can make people sad by oversharing or some shit. Like, yeah, like new characters like that.
I just, the part I'm hung up on is I don't think there was a character named Snowflake or Safe Space. I think those two are not real.
I think they're real because we
there were some goofy ones, but those were not it.
They're real.
No fucking way.
They're real. Marvel Comics they created them and they were making a whole series out of them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're real. It's to troll the trolls. It's the She-Hulk approach. The
this
TV
would
show.
Be like when a guy on Xbox Live circa 2008 calls you gay, you suck a dick to prove him wrong. That is the logic at play here.
But they're real.
That's insane. We didn't talk about those two.
We did.
No. We didn't talk about those two when we were talking because there was that specific team.
Yeah,
that was not.
They were in that team.
No, there's no fucking.
They were in that team, dude. They were in that team. They were there in that team.
How did I just fully blank?
Because they weren't the most ridiculous ones out of that group.
Yeah, I think I got hung up on Lawful Arson.
You did.
For a really long
you did.
time.
You hated that name, and you hated the girl that could talk to people and overshare, and that was her power. So you focused on those two, but because Snowflake and Safe Space were just stupid names, and you were just like, oh, whatever.
What was the one that could change your face?
Oh, I got look at the whole team.
There's something. There's some fucking pun there. That's wild.
Yeah, because they're the New Warriors.
Yeah.
Yep, they were the New Warriors. B. Okay, we got B negative.
Oh my god.
Trailblazer.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
And that's it.
No. Where's the rest of the Where's the rest of the group? Because there's Snowflake and Safe Space. So that's those two right there.
This has got to be a different crew then. Because the one we were talking about had like, there's one that had like a Greek name, and hold on.
Because that issue that
now I have to type in lawful arson. And
that episode that we talked about was strictly about comics, and because we bought a bunch of, we all bought a bunch of comics to do. Tori bought us a bunch of comics that day.
Was it lawful arson or legal arson, or is there something arson?
Yeah,
arson?
it's
good arson. No, it's way worse. It was so much worse than I remember. Good arson. Good arson. Fuck me. Right, because these were specifically the trans superheroes. Okay, so yeah. These were not the same ones. Pity Girl.
Yeah, Pity Girl.
Aphelion, or Aphelion. I'm not sure which one. I think it's Aphelion. Good Arson and Face Shopper.
Yeah, Face Shopper was the one that get changed.
And we were like, that sounds like a cool concept. There could be something fun there. Fucking Good Arson.
So that's what happens when they create new characters.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. They just they have terrible ideas.
That's so bad.
Yeah. Speaking of that, have you they rebooting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles again, right? For the 90th time.
Yeah, I'm just in shock. I'm sorry. I'm like, I feel like I'm just blown back by
Good Arson,
Snowflake. I had forgotten about, and Snowflake and Safe Space. We for sure did not talk about.
We were talking
specifically about the trans superheroes.
Okay,
they were being introduced. That shit's fucking wild. Safe Space and
the New Warriors were badass. Like the New Warriors they were badass, and then they revamped it for modern audiences, and then they created these characters.
Christ.
Yeah, dude,
that's a lot. Sorry, we're talking about the reboot of TMNT.
Yes, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They're doing a reboot, and they always do that every
so often.
6-7 years or something. They come out with a new TV show or a movie for them, and this time April O'Neil is not a white redhead reporter.
Go on.
She is now a portly young black woman.
With the surname O'Neil.
Yes.
Okay.
You know what? I really hate that I like stuff. Like, this makes me hate liking things. I thought about this today. I'm like, why? I just don't. I wish I didn't like anything. So everything would be new to me, and I would love everything. I would think everything was a great idea.
The unfortunate news I have for you is that even if you don't like things, you'll eventually find a thing that you think is cool, and it will inevitably be. So, like, Halo, I love, right? Probably the most dog shit TV adaptation ever made. And there's like 36 novels in the Halo universe. You could have picked any one of those and had a solid TV show. That's how when I first played Halo, the first thing I did is I went out and I bought the book, the companion book.
Because you're a nerd. Nerds don't make stuff anymore.
Right. I was like, these books are fucking sick. In training, right, when he first puts on the Mjolnir Mark II armor, he literally pimp slaps a rocket away from himself. He's just like, no, I don't want that. And the TV show, they were like, what if he took his mask off and fucked?
Yeah.
Like, two things that Master Chief doesn't do.
Yeah.
They describe him as looking like a fucking alien in the books. Because they're like, all he does is hang out in the armor. So his skin is like super pale and sickly and translucent, and his eyes are all dark.
Like, even if they just made him look like Deadpool when he takes his mask off, okay.
It doesn't even have to be like that. I want him to look like, son of a bitch. If he looked closer to Gore.
Oh, which one?
Oh, sorry. The true adaptation from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay, so
yeah, the best version.
Okay.
Christian Bale with a little bit of flour.
Quan Chi. So Quan Chi from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
He takes it off and it's just Quan Chi. And then he stretches somebody's neck as a fatality. Okay, I got you. Done.
Serve Shao Kahn, you know.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. But yeah, that was a horrible adaptation.
It was a miserable. Like, I didn't watch it, but I didn't have to because I just watched a couple videos on it. I was like, ooh.
Once you find out that he takes his helmet off, that ruins the entire thing.
Like, even in the opening cutscene of Halo 4, they show Master Chief's face as like a child and then like a young teenager. And even that, I was like, that's kind of taken away from the magic. He could be anything. He doesn't have to be a white guy. He could be anything. And that to me was kind of the whole point of the armor, was his name was John. It's the most generic male name you can possibly have in the English language. And the fact that they made him like, oh, he's like a pale Irish looking guy with like freckles and blue eyes. I was like, shut the fuck up. Just put the mask back on him.
Yeah, that was a terrible adaptation, bro.
But see, I think that's dog shit. But then like the Halo Legends animated stuff, I think those are cool as hell. I love those stories. They were dumb fun.
Yeah.
The one where Spartan 1337, great. Spartan Elite. It's a great throwback to fucking old ass nerds like me. And then he just like punches dinosaurs and stuff. It was great. It was a great episode.
Shit. Like Halo is so badass that they've been in fighting games too, because they were in Dead or Alive.
Yep.
For whatever reason. Killer Instinct, they were in there. They got the Arbiter. They have an actual Spartan in there and everything. It's cool. Then you get to the show.
And then you have a whole TV show based on the concept. And they're like, yeah, nobody here's played any of the games. We just saw like the trailers.
Yep.
Do you remember the Halo 3 commercials before Halo 3 came out, with the frozen diorama and like the veterans and the people like giving their account of what happened?
Dope.
If they had kept that format, like every episode was just a person being like, I was here and this wild shit happened in front of me, and then you just take yourself out of John's perspective, Master Chief's perspective, and just put you in the role of this random person living their life in some dog water colony somewhere, and all of a sudden, oh fuck, the Covenant are here, or Brutes, or whoever, and then out of nowhere, this fucking insane guy talking to himself rolled into the room, killed everyone, said nothing to me, and left. That would be the best TV show. I would love, because it generally doesn't get old. Like, Halo's been the same since day one, and it's phenomenal the whole way through.
But I think that's why they feel that they should change it, because it has been the same.
Because they want to appeal to the wider audience.
Yes.
And I get that. But
what is the wider audience?
Correct.
What is the wider audience?
The wider audience is an algorithm. That's all they're trying to appeal to at this point, is what they think.
Yeah.
It's some computerized approximation.
Could you imagine how much money they would make from the nerds who fucking played Halo? They bought their Xbox back in the day specifically to play that Halo shit. Who used to link 5 and 6 Xboxes together before we even knew what the hell any of that stuff was.
The dawn of online console gaming owes its existence to
Halo.
Xbox Live would not have been a service if not for Halo.
And so just think about this. They stumbled when they made the latest Halo on Xbox. The
Infinite?
Yes,
5?
Halo Infinite. So
because 5 was bad.
Yeah, but this one, people don't even really like talk about it or play it as much anymore. So they
no, Infinite's good.
No, because when they brought it out, they didn't have a single player mode. Oh, they didn't have the multiplayer mode yet. Yeah. And then when they did bring it out, they left out like 7 or 8 different modes that Halo fans are used to playing. Yep. It was people were pissed.
And you can't customize your Spartan at all.
See? Yeah. So stuff like that. Yeah. But just imagine if they made up for it by making a bomb ass show. That's all they had to do. These shits are a layup, bro. You have a built-in audience that is ready to spend their money and their watch time on this shit.
And the thing is, what I think the vicious cycle that they've kind of lured themselves into is they think that the more money they put into the marketing, the higher the return on investment will be.
Yep.
So they end up over-promising and over-hyping, and then an audience who's already been disillusioned by the hundreds of letdowns in the past 2 decades gets introduced to this product and goes, it's not as fucking cool as they said it was going to be. It's nowhere near. I would vastly prefer less marketing and more value from the product. Like being able to enjoy things. Because again, I keep sucking its dick, and I'm going to keep sucking its dick because I was right. Everything Everywhere All at Once, $15 million fucking dollars. That's chump change.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, for me, that's
a lot of money, but
for me, that's a good weekend.
For Hollywood, it's
but,
not.
You know,
for Hollywood, it's not a lot of money.
For Hollywood, it's nothing. And for TV shows, it's nothing. Like, they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars producing these things.
Look at that Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power shit.
It's like millions of dollars per episode.
Yeah.
That's not good.
It's not good at all. And that's another thing. Lord of the Rings is also another fucking layup, bro.
The easiest layup. And they've made so many quality video games around the property without, like, they've been original stories. They just take elements from them. So, goddamn, there was a game that was a ripoff of Final Fantasy X. It was like the Second Age, I think. It was like Lord of the Rings, the Second Age. It was like a party-based, like, real-time, like a turn-based combat thing. And it basically stole all the story from the movies, like beat for beat. There was like, oh, you've got a soldier of Gondor and an elf girl who's into him and a dwarf, and like all the tropes were there. But it was fucking rad. Like, if the game is fun, that's all you need. You just need it to be entertaining. And so, again, when you have these TV shows that don't deliver on the most basic premise, even if the acting is bad, the story needs to be there because it's based on one of the most well-known stories in the world, internationally known.
Yep.
And again, you've got games by WB Studios, the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War follow-up. Incredible games. And the story is really basic, but it takes from the setting. It takes things from the Silmarillion and everything else and goes, here's this.
Like, I don't understand. I mean, I understand, but I don't understand also why these things are late. They have built-in audiences. They have millions of people that are waiting for these things.
They just want something that scratches that itch. People, when they announced a Lord of the Rings TV show, they're like, I want something to make me feel like I did back in 2001 when Fellowship of the Ring came out. You know, that's what people wanted. And that's not what they fucking got.
Nope. That's not what they got at all.
They got wavy dwarves.
Dog. These things are a layup. Like, seriously. Like, the Halo shit really was a layup, though.
It was. But, like, they failed in every single aspect.
Yeah, they did. It hurts. It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. I don't understand. We, like, us nerds are ready with our wallets.
I think I'm ready to put an official statement on the record. There is no class of person more oppressed than nerds.
Hey.
Yep. Racial injustice, economic injustice, no. Gamers and nerds, the two most oppressed classes.
I agree with that.
Because I no longer want to consume the product.
Yep. I don't like stuff that I normally get excited about. I'm just like, oh God, how are you gonna F this one up?
Yeah.
That's
I can't think of the last thing I was excited for, like trailer wise. There was some movie I saw. Bullet Train was
because that shit was awesome.
And then Everything Everywhere All at Once. I knew the second I saw that trailer, I was like, I want to see this movie so bad. And Tori was like, like, shut the fuck up. It's like the one with Michelle Yeoh, and it turns out it's way better.
Yeah, I'm not excited. I am excited for Guardians 3. I think that's probably about it in my genres. That's probably it. Scream 6 was really good, so I'm glad that was good.
Yeah, tell me about that.
So, Scream 6 follows the formula. Like, it follows the way Scream movies are supposed to be.
Which, if I understand correctly, as a layperson, the Scream movies are sort of like a biopsy of movie culture, is what the story is set up to be.
Yes.
Like, it's very meta. People in the movie are like, well, this is kind of how this thing would go in like a slasher flick, da-da-da. And then things typically play out along those lines.
Yep.
There's the twist, the reveal, da-da-da-da.
Yep. And that's when you go to a Scream movie, the reason Scream was able to make 6 movies and make money off of each movie is because it has that element. Like, you know what to expect, but you don't know who it is.
Right.
The fun in it is guessing
you're constantly
who it is
in the movie, trying to figure out what's going on along with the characters.
Yes, and how it's all related. And what I like about these last 2, since they like kind of doing a reboot, a requel, if you will, of the series, is they bring back old characters to join in with the new characters, but they don't necessarily downplay the old characters. Sure, some of them may pass away, but they're old, so like literally you don't want to see certain people in Scream 20
right
they have to go away. But the fact that they brought back some of these characters, like in you can see in the trailer for Scream 6, Kirby is back, Hayden Panettiere, so she's back in this one. You see that in the trailer. They reveal her in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anything, but it's just a good feeling. Like when I left that theater, I felt good because I'm like, you know what? They didn't pander to anything. They didn't try to bring in people who don't give a fuck about Scream. They wanted the fans to come back. Fans of the old Scream could come back, and fans of the previous Scream could just come right back and enjoy craziness, because that's really what it is. It's crazy. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, of course, my opinion is different from other people. I love horror movies and I love slasher movies. They're my favorite subgenre of horror. So Scream movies always are cool because I'm a horror movie nerd and I like slashers, and you combine,
right, you get best of both worlds.
Yeah. And then you have characters who are like, wait a minute, this isn't supposed to happen this way, because they break it down and it's really cool. I enjoy it. So Scream 6, I recommend it for those who like
slasher movies with smart characters are always more engaging for me.
That's very rare. Slasher movies usually have dumb characters.
Because at some point, part of you has to be like, some of these people deserve to die.
Oh yeah,
that's usually how it's like
that
formula is created.
Like the Netflix Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot. Requel. I guess that would be more of a requel. I wanted everyone to die. Like, there was not a single person, but they set it up that way. Like, you are supposed to hate every character, and you do. So you actually end up rooting for Leatherface.
Bodies, bodies, bodies. Is that kind of that same shtick?
Yeah, yes, those were like wild, crazy stoner kids.
Right.
These are in that requel.
Were they more of like a Rob Zombie type of cast?
No, they were like a entrepreneur YouTuber.
Oh God,
type shit.
So it's like Entourage.
So yeah, so just a quick breakdown. They go. It's like a rundown town. These people, these kids, well, they're like probably in their 20s. They come to this town because they're gonna pool together and buy it, and then redo it with like coffee shops and
oh my God.
Oh, bro.
So it's like gentrification, the movie.
Dog, yes. And you want all of them to die. So when things do happen, you like, fuck yes.
Fucking sex.
So yeah. A lot of people hated that movie. I thought it was pretty awesome, but whatever. But Scream 6 was great. I recommend people go see it. I don't know how long it's going to last in the theaters because nothing lasts in the theaters anymore. Like 2 seconds later, it's on the streaming service. So I don't know.
The landscape of movie releases has for sure changed.
Absolutely. But I think Everything Everywhere All at Once, Top Gun Maverick, Spider-Man, No Way Home. I think they were the ones that lasted the longest in the theaters. Like they were in there. Oh, and Avatar. I think it's still in the theaters, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And that shit crossed $2 billion. But it was word of mouth. Because that started off slow. And then people saw it and they were like, yo, no, you should go see it. No, you should go see it. And then it just grew.
Still haven't seen the original Avatar, and I don't fucking want to.
I mean, why not? You can check it off your list of important movies to see.
If it's not on my poster downstairs, I don't have to watch it.
Well,
I don't think it's on my poster.
I'm gonna make a thing and stick it down in. You have to scratch it to reveal it. It's gonna be Avatar.
I'm sure it's a fine movie. People have talked about it glowingly for so long that I'm like, it has to be bad.
I honestly think that this one, the second one, will age a little bit better than the first one, honestly.
Nobody who I've talked to about the first movie who says that they really like it can tell me more than 2 characters' names.
And dude,
that to me kind of tells me what I need to know.
That is so true. Like I'm thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
And I saw both of them. And I'm like, we got Jake Sully. You got Jake Sully.
That's the one that everyone gets.
Jake Sully. You got goddamn Jake Sully.
So yeah, in a movie that I know has like 10 main characters.
Damn, what was his woman's name? Jesus.
Nobody knows. But everyone fucking loves these movies.
That is a great point. That is a damn good point.
I'm just saying.
Jake Sully.
Jake Sully.
Yeah, I think that's all I can remember also.
So
I feel bad.
The only Avatar media that I've imbibed, Funhouse back in like 2018, they had you can tell I don't watch Funhouse a whole lot anymore because I can't remember anyone's names. Elise, James's wife. They got her to dress up as one of the Na'vi, but like really shittily in like blue body paint, and she's like leaning on a chair and hissing at people and just saying Jake Sully, and she kept mixing it up with Cloud Atlas.
Yeah,
like, I speak the true, and they're like, what the fuck? That's not the right movie. So yeah, like that's the most I know about Avatar.
And that's fair.
And then James came in a wheelchair and he had like fake puppet legs on there, so he was like flopping them around.
God.
Yeah, it was good times.
Yeah, you're right. Like. Now I have to ask people who have seen both Avatars.
They're like, you really like Avatar? Name 3 characters. Name 3.
Yeah, damn, I can't even remember the villain's name.
Yeah.
Shit. I guess you get immersed in everything else other than the character.
Is this real water?
That shit.
And then that's it. That's the
only looks incredible.
Thought going through your fucking screensaver.
It looks incredible.
Looks good. Everything I've seen say they look incredible. But
you're right.
But nobody knows who the fuck is
I'm going to make
movie.
it a point now that I have to remember at least three names. Damn.
Isn't it crazy?
It's crazy.
Like these movies have made billions of dollars.
Dog.
You can't name 3 characters.
There's so many.
You like movies.
Yeah.
You're a movie guy.
And I usually remember characters' names and actors and actresses, and I cannot remember 3 characters from that shit.
Jake Sully.
Only Jake Sully. And I can sit here and rattle off Mortal Kombat characters from like shitty games.
I can name the entire Soul Blade lineup from 1995, right? No problem. Original Tekken lineup, 96, no problem.
I cannot remember 3 characters from Avatar.
3 characters from one of the largest grossing franchises in movie history.
Yeah.
You can name 3 characters from Lord of the Rings. You can name 3 characters from Star Wars. You can name 3 characters from Marvel. You can name 3 characters from the Titanic movie, which is also on that big list. You can't name 3 characters from either Avatar movie.
Either one. Either one. You're right. You're right.
So yeah, I feel pretty vindicated in my decision to not watch the movies.
Wow. That's pretty rough. that's pretty awful. And now that I think about it, I don't think anybody else can either.
No. And like legitimately no one I've talked to knows more than Jake Sully. Like I've never gotten to 2.
Jeez Louise.
Because yeah, like they're like, yeah, it was just so beautiful, and like Pandora, they know the name of the world. They're like, Pandora is just so beautiful.
Yeah, and the Navi.
And the Navi and the Unobtainium or Unobtivium or whatever.
Unobtainium.
Like, they're like, cool. What was the girl's name? No? Nothing? Okay. Cool.
Oh, dude, that is rough. That is rough. Ouch.
I'm just saying.
No, like
I'm just saying.
Why is that though?
I could not tell you.
Like I can explain scenes. I can tell you like scenes that happen in the other one, in this one. Mm-hmm. I can't even remember Sigourney Weaver's character's name. Fuck. Wow. All right. Well,
I'm just saying.
Look, hey, you got me on that one. You got me on that one. Hey.
Feel pretty good about that one.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, speaking of movies, we do know all the character names for. John Wick 4 is set to release this Friday.
Yes, and R.I.P. to Lance Reddick too.
Yeah, fuck.
That's rough. That's rough.
What a class act.
Yeah, man.
Tori was telling me some article thing that she read about Keanu Reeves and Lance Reddick in the first John Wick movie.
Mm-hmm.
For this particular day, Keanu was not on the call sheet. He did not have to be on set. It was his birthday. They were just shooting some of Lance's scenes in the Continental.
Yeah.
And Lance said he's like in the middle of, doing his thing. He turns and Keanu Reeves is there with his girlfriend just hanging out. And he was like, oh, like he didn't have to be here. Like this is his birthday. And Keanu gave him a note and he was just like people like you make movies worth seeing. Like seeing your performances and everything. Like
Keanu Reeves is a good dude too, man.
Like if he ever comes out as a creep, we gotta end society.
Yeah, like seriously.
Because like I usually have a great bullshit detector for the people who are like, oh, this is so wholesome. I'm just a wholesome guy. Like those weirdo, like slimy, like, oh, just positivity, bud. Right?
Yeah.
And then like, because you know exactly what I'm talking about. You complete greaseball motherfuckers.
They're all over YouTube too. All over YouTube.
So disgusting.
All over YouTube.
But then you have like your Mr. Rogers of the world who are just like incandescently good people. And I feel like he seems to lead a very private life, but in the few public interactions we see from him, things he just does for people that he works with.
Yeah.
And what speaks to me almost more than anything, I'm sure you've probably seen him. Have you seen his gun training videos for Turan Tactical for the John Wick movies?
Crazy.
He's cranking out these insane maneuvers. Like I consider myself to be fairly proficient with firearms. I could never do what he's doing. And he's doing it in one of them. He's got the shotgun scene where he's doing a dual load, which is you have to take 2 shotgun shells and then get them both in, and then blam, and then it just incredible. And he's doing it all with a fucked up hand. You can see he has a bandage on for it. He does a super clean run, and the lady's like, oh, like 10 seconds flat. And he's like, I could have gone a little bit faster. And it's like, that right there, motherfucker. That's what it is. That's the spark. Hey, I did something really good. I could have done better. This could have been better. And it's like, yep.
He's just a good dude, man. He's a good dude. You want to root for him.
You do. It's hard not to. And he was far and away my favorite part of Cyberpunk 2077. I loved his performance. I crashed 176 times during that game, right? And like we're not talking like, oh haha, like turn my computer off crashes. Like full, and then I have to start the whole fucking thing back up again. I got through that game because of Keanu Reeves. I was like, I gotta do it for my boy, okay? Because I need to know what happens to him.
Dog, he's pretty awesome. And
this
is rare.
Is not to take away from how great Lance Reddick is, because that's really what started this conversation.
Oh yeah.
Rest in peace, Lance.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes.
The Toys R Me skit will never not make me cry laughing.
I enjoyed him in Fringe. That was one of my favorite shows back in the day. It was a J.J. Abrams show, and you know what? I know I go off on tangents sometimes,
sure.
But the more I think about J.J. Abrams and the TV shows that I enjoyed from him, the more I realize he didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
No.
He made shit up all the time, 100%. And that's why his shows just go like all over the fucking place.
Dude, he is one of the worst writers I've ever seen in any industry.
And he'll have like bomb ass concepts, and then
but he like there's no weight to him. He's just like, I'm gonna twist this however I need it so that the cool thing visually that I want to have happen can happen.
Because like Lance Reddick was in Fringe, and I love that show. And
who else was in Fringe? That sounds really familiar.
Anna Torv. I don't think you've seen The Last of Us yet, but she played Tess. She plays Tess in The Last of Us. Yeah. But what's his name? What's the guy's name? Something Jackson, not Peter Jackson. It's another Jackson, because my ex-wife like loved him, and I can't remember his name now. But it was a show that came on Fox, and it's about fringe science, and the dad, like they solve crimes and weird stuff that happen.
Hell yeah.
But it was like a monster of the week thing at first, right? Like that's
sort of like X-Files-y kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Then it blossomed into an overarching story that had like these dudes called the Watchers, and it just got time travel, time travel, and then they fast forward in time. It just got weird, and that's the same thing that happened to Lost. Lost is one of my favorite shows of all time,
dude. When Lost was good,
it was fucking great. Oh my god!
But when it was bad, it was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. So I say all that about Lance Reddick. Then we went off into J.J. Abrams, but Lance Reddick was in that show that I absolutely loved, and he was like one of the coolest characters because his voice, his demeanor, like he was on point.
I played a lot of Destiny, and that's honestly what I know him the most from, because he was the voice actor for Commander Zavala, who is the you play Destiny at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've seen it played.
Okay, gotcha.
Because Will plays it. Like, that's his jam.
General overview, the survivors of humanity are broken into like 3 classes. You've got warlocks, titans, and hunters. He's the chapter master of all the titans, and I main titan. So he was always the guy that I would talk to for like my missions and everything, and it's all voice acted by Lance, and it's so incredible. His just incredibly crisp, warm voice, and it's just really sad.
Yeah, he was in Quantum Break too.
Yes, he was. He was
in Quantum Break.
He was in Payday 2, I believe.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of like smaller sketches and stuff that I like. When I think of him, the first thing I think of is sketches. The Toys R Me sketch. Incredible. Ride the high hog. The high hog is my penis. Like, hell yeah, dude. The fucking the Eric Andre sketch.
When he hit the table,
he's like, you're gonna need a new table. You need a new table. Yes. I want my iconic slave role.
Yeah, dog.
So good. And then I mean, obviously The Wire.
Yeah, The Wire. He was the spokesperson for those BlackBerry Bold commercials, like BlackBerry Bold. Yep. Be bold. He was the man.
In a show like The Wire that had so many phenomenal performances, to have him be such a standout is just a testament.
Hot take. The Wire, I couldn't get through it.
Really?
It was incredibly boring to me.
That's very interesting.
Maybe because I could look out my window and see a lot of that stuff, but it was incredibly boring to me.
To be fair, that would make me not interested in it. If I was closer to the source material, I'd be like...
Now, I will say my neighborhood was not exactly like that.
Oh, yeah, but obviously there's things that are... Yeah, for sure.
So, maybe... But I tried. Like, we had the first 3 or 4 seasons on DVD. Were they given to us? No, we borrowed them from someone. And we tried to watch it, and then I tried to watch it by myself. I just couldn't get through it.
Damn.
It was, like, incredibly slow. There were moments where nothing happened. Like, they would be outside selling dope. You know, they were in that square, and they would be sitting on the raggedy couches and shit. And dudes would come up, hey, man, we got the pack. Hey, man, I got the pack. And then dude walk away and say, they talking for like 5 minutes. Another dude come up, you got the pack? Yeah, I got the pack. Wow. Like, riveting shit. So, it's a hot take for me. That's like...
No, that's a really good hot take. Because truthfully, I haven't watched the fucking show. I just watched clips of things.
Dog, that shit was... I couldn't get through it.
So watching the clips, I'm like, this is kind of interesting.
I couldn't get through it. But
then, I think Steven was the one who was like, yeah, season 2's a little slow.
Well, shit, I barely made it to season 2. So, damn. If that was the case, I probably would have just fallen asleep immediately.
Whoever the doc master is, the Greek guy.
Mm-hmm.
Sabatka? Is that?
Yeah, something like that.
When I first got my green jacket and I put it on, I had my hair much shorter and I was like, my beard was less. And they were like, holy, like I sent a picture to Steven. He's like, holy shit, like you look like this guy from The Wire. And I look up, I was like, that's not a good look, man. And then I look at his age and like when he was on The Wire, he was like 30 years old, but he looks like he's fucking 55. Like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, Lance Reddick was also in Oz. Now, yes, I did watch Oz. Oz was wild.
Oz was wild.
Oz was wild. He was also in that. And I did enjoy that show. And now that I think about it, that was like in the early 90s, or maybe early to mid 90s.
Yeah.
And I probably shouldn't have been watching it. But, you know, my mom, she was just like, I mean, whatever. So,
I mean,
I watched it.
If it were me, I'd be like, don't fuck up or else this happens to you.
Yeah, shit. Some of the stuff that happened, it's scared straight, bro.
That'll keep you on the straight and narrow for a while.
Yeah. But yeah, I couldn't get into The Wire. And I know I get a lot of shit for it, but I couldn't get into it.
Hey, that's cool. I mean, the same people that are taking the rest of your cards for Black Panther, they'll come back for round 2 on The Wire.
They will. But it's okay. It's whatever. But yeah, R.I.P. Lance Reddick.
Rest in peace.
He's the man.
Very cool.
Yeah, and he's gonna be in John Wick 4, which opens this week. Yeah, I think it is this week.
Yeah, it is this week. I'm excited. I probably won't see it opening week because I get really claustrophobic in crowded theaters. So I'll wait until like Sunday morning the week after usually.
Okay.
That usually helps me out a little bit.
I think we're gonna try to go Saturday. We usually do like the first show on Saturdays.
Hell yeah. And
it's usually not too bad because the nighttime is when.
The nighttime is nuts.
Yeah, but it's John Wick 4, man.
Should be good.
I love that series. I absolutely love that series. Everything about it. I know there's some.
I've got my gripes.
Yeah, there's some things about it, that, of course, that are a little shaky. But
well, for me, it's more like a consistency thing. Like if I'm gonna hold up Marvel properties and poke holes wide enough to get daylight through them, I feel like other things that I like I should be equally critical of. And so the like plot holes in John not having been viciously murdered by the literal assassins, people who are paid money to kill.
That's what they do.
And his life has been spared 7 times so far in 3 movies.
Hey, man.
And realistically, he has been spared more times than he has spared other people.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't spare too many people.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't spare too many.
And usually his definition of spared involves, I just put a knife into your heart. Good luck with this. Sayonara.
Peace.
Yeah, peace. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many people he puts knives into the hearts of.
Oh yeah.
In John Wick 4.
Oh yeah. Donnie Yen is in it.
Yep.
I think Scott Adkins is in it too. I think I saw his name on the list.
The guy that played Pennywise in the new movies.
Skarsgård?
Yes, he's in it. I don't know what it is about the John Wick
I just
movies.
said Skarsgård because I can't remember which one he is, because it's like 30 Skarsgårds.
It's not Skellen and it's not Alex. I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, I can't remember it. So
but he's a Skarsgård.
Yep.
Peter?
Maybe?
Body says Peter. It's probably not. But he is, without a doubt, he is a Skarsgård.
He's a Skarsgård. Looks just like all of them. All of them.
They are very similar.
Yep. Have a look. So I'm definitely excited. And I hope I can definitely make it this Saturday. I want to see it.
I'm excited to see it as well. Any closing thoughts?
No, I don't really have. I think we've talked about everything that we wanted to talk about this time, even stuff that wasn't planned.
It's true. I just have a brief closing statement. If you didn't think Everything Everywhere All at Once was the best movie of the year, you're a fucking bitch. It got Best Picture. Die mad. It was fucking great. It fucking ruled. $15 million? What's the last thing that was good that was that inexpensive? Bitch.
Yeah. What he said. What he said. what he said.
Just every time I go into Reddit, every thread about the Oscars, like, I couldn't even get through it. It was a dumb movie. Oh, yeah. I didn't get the point.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say that shit.
I see. People who do not possess souls.
Yeah, I do.
Here's the thing. They set up the story in this most simple way possible. Don't do that. I'm gonna have to blur half a second of audio.
That's why I whispered. That's why I said it so softly.
Followed by riotous laughter with no context. Holy shit! What a blast from the past. You take a SIM card out of the old phone and put it in a new one. Holy shit. No, but I feel like not understanding the sci-fi stuff, the whole thing is everything in that movie is a vehicle to tell the story about the family.
Yep.
Like, the sci-fi stuff doesn't fucking matter. They introduce the concept, doesn't matter. It never... the first couple of times it's to build tension, to be like, oh, is she or isn't she gonna, like, be able to do the fucking mind transfer shit? And then after that, it's just like, oh, this is an excuse to put in a bunch of dope fight scenes and, like, have a bunch of cool stuff happening. Love it. But the main point is the story about the family. And if the story about the family does not resonate with you, you should probably talk to a therapist. Because it was a really easy, really empathetic story to get behind. There was... Yeah.
Yep. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
I've seen it 3 times since I've, bought the 4K Blu-ray, and it's...
Still holds up?
Yeah, still holds up. Special effects... Like, I still can't believe the budget that they had.
One dude who taught himself through YouTube tutorials, assisted by the 2 directors.
And then we have...
And you get incredible special effects.
And we got goddamn Taika Waititi, who has a $250 million budget.
Ooh.
Make it a
I'm
Thor.
The floating head.
Like...
I changed my name to Axel, like Guns N' Roses, the famous Earth band. Shut the fuck up.
Awful. Straight awful. So,
well, hey, before we talk ourselves into another depression spiral, we're gonna go and call it here.
Yes.
Thank you everyone for watching. As always. Go see John Wick if you like John Wick. If you don't like John Wick anymore, I get it. I have my reservations, but it should be a good movie.
Yep. Go see Scream 6 also.
Yes.
It's good. It's
good. If DV says fun. It's good, it's probably good.
It's fun. It's so much fun. You should watch it.
On my watch list, Domestic Terrorists. That's about it.
Well, hey. That's all you got.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. It was one other thing I was going to tell them to watch, and I lost it when you said domestic terrorists. I lost it, and I cannot remember.
I'm glad.
Whatever.
I'm glad that my dog shit throwaway joke managed to derail the last thought for the podcast.
It did. It's all good though, but everybody stay safe.
You want to hear that joke I was going to tell about Black Panther?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Peace. Bye-bye.